I got your text. You said you couldn't sleep. Nightmare or something. I'm sorry to hear that, yeah. I'm glad you texted me, you know. If I couldn't sleep or if I had a bad dream, I'd probably just thug it out or something till in the morning. But I'm really glad that you called or texted me. What do you think it was? You just can't seem to get it, can't seem to get your body in that rhythm of sleeping. That relaxation of sleeping. Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, I'm glad. I kind of had a feeling that that was the case, so I brought a few things with me. I have like a couple of things on my side. Is there anything that you want, first and foremost? Something to drink? I'm glad that you brought that up. I have some chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is good for relaxation, and it helps with sleep. So I'm going to set this down for you, okay? Okay. Yeah. Oh, and I also have a crochet coaster that I made. Yeah, it's light blue and it's like a round circle. I think circle pattern. I don't really know the crochet lingo, but I think I have perfected this pattern for crocheting coasters. I've been crocheting coasters like for 2 years, and you could see like the ones that I've had earlier. You remember that one I got for Christmas? Got you for Christmas? Yeah, that was. I'm honestly embarrassed about it now, so if you want another one, a replacement, I'll be happy to make you another one in a different color, but this one is yours, okay? Put it with your tea under your tea mug, okay? Okay. Yeah, just sip away, you know, you don't have to sip the whole thing, you don't have to chug the whole thing, just holding the mug in your hands when it's nice and warm helps settle the body, so. Let's see what else I can get for you. Oh, I know you're in your bed, but I thought it would be nice to just bring another blanket for you for some coziness. It is this very cute and springy flower pattern blanket that I got from Target. And I love it. I am like a seasonal person, so I will only use like a specific blanket for a specific season. I have other blankets that are like normal colors, but I have this spring one, kind of like slash a summer one. And I have a winter one, which is like snowflakes. It's a gray and white blanket with white snowflakes. And then I have a fall one. I used to have it was like pumpkins, like Halloween pumpkins, and it was black with orange Halloween pumpkins on it. But that one I lost. So I just have a simple, cute, very burnt orange colored blanket. But here you are. I'm gonna wrap this around you, okay? Okay. Make sure your face gets nice and covered, your body is nice and warm. Okay, how does it feel? Buttery soft, yeah, it is. I love it. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that it's like this because I was hearing that some textures of blankets are not being as soft as they used to be, which is kind of sad, but I'm really glad that that one worked out. I don't remember how much it was. I think maybe $10, but I'm glad I got it. Okay, I do also have some candles to set the mood, to make you feel a little bit more warm and cozy. Do you want that? Yeah, okay. I do have this one that I'm already holding. It is a alchemy candle. I think it's like some brand. My grandmother gave this to me. It is tea and bergamot. Bergamot. How do you say it? Bergamot or bergamot? I don't know how to say it. I usually say bergamot, but it's a cute warm scent to it. You want to smell? Yeah. If I'm honest, I don't know how long my grandma has had this candle for. I don't even know this brand, but it's very cute. You don't need like a saucer to put under it to drip, because it just melts down to the bottom, and it kind of, it's kind of bittersweet, because I would want to use like the rim, but I'm not complaining if I don't need to use something to hold underneath it. So I do also have this candle, this mini candle that a friend got me. Oh, it's so good. I think this one is, I enjoy this one a lot better. It's really good. This one's very like, I would say a smell that you would smell in a cologne, like a very woodsy vanilla type flavor scent. It's so good, but it's so good, and it's such a tiny little candle, so I'm savoring it. So you should feel very favorited right now, because I don't use this often. You're very special to me. I'm using this for you to set the mood for you sleeping. Okay. There we are. There you go. I'm gonna set this on the bedside table, okay? Okay. Alright, and now the other one. You want to smell this one again? It's good, right? Yeah, this one's like faint. It's very subtle, this one. I don't know if that means like based on like how long it's been like a candle. Like I don't know if you're supposed to use candles in a specific time frame, but this one, like I said, look how ambiance. Look how it looks like. It kind of looks like a fall candle or Halloween candle. Like I'm from like Practical Magic or something like that. It's very beautiful to me. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the other one as well. Alrighty. So now you're comfy and cozy. You have your blanket, you have some tea, you have the candles lit. How are you feeling? A lot better before you texted me. Good. I'm glad. Still kind of not ready. Like you can't. Your brain's still going a mile a minute, thinking about things to do, about work. Yeah. Okay. No problem. I did save the best for last. I brought a few books for you to choose from, so I could read you to sleep. Is that something you'd like? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let me gather them for you, okay? I'm gonna let you choose. Yes, I did put my glasses on. Okay, number one, we're in the dark. Number two, I need them. three. I have three books for you to choose from. Do you want to choose them based on what they look like their kind of aesthetic in the front? You want to judge a book by its cover? Or do you want me to read the back for you? Okay. Right. A very velvety texture for the cover. It still has that book smell. It's kind of faint because I've had this book for forever, but do you smell it? Yeah. It's raining. Wow, that's actually helping with the ambiance. You say you just want to choose, you don't want to read. Okay, alright, you can choose just from the looks of it. How about that? We have Fury Born. Wow, I can't believe it's raining. The Fury Born one. Wow. It's a storm out. Goodness. I have a door in the dark. You can't really see the title. It's kind of like illuminating. Okay, and then I have the Carol Hunt. The Carol Hunt. This one, you can already kind of assume, like, the genre of this book with this lady right here. Do you know the Carol Hunt? A Door in the Dark. Sure, we can do A Door in the Dark. Alright, are you comfy? You have the blanket. We have rain outside. It's helping with the ambiance. I think, in my personal opinion, that when it's raining at night, it is the best sleep you will ever get. If it's raining at night. If it's raining during the day, you know, people gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. People gotta go to school. It's you driving. But like when it's time to go to bed, I think rain is the best ambiance. Sometimes this is for like, just to give you ideas for next time you can't sleep and I'm not there. I go on YouTube and I play like rain ambiance or like fire crackling ambiance, things like that. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. And get comfy, drink your drink. I'm gonna get situated so I can read for you, okay? A Door in the Dark. Let's see. What? You told me you changed your mind. You said you didn't want to know the back. You wanted to judge a book by its cover. So I'm not gonna read the back. I'm just gonna surprise you and read the book. I think I'll give you like a summary. I think it's like fantasy, kind of like royalty maybe, powers, stuff like that. Something you probably shouldn't be reading to go to bed, but I'm sure it'll help you out. Okay. Wind prowled wolf-like through the waiting crowd, sinking its teeth into exposed necks and bare ankles. Rem kept her hood up and her eyes down. Still, it found every threadbare hole and feasted. There was an unspoken camaraderie to how everyone in line huddled closer together as it howled. On the first day of every month, Ren left her dormitory on the Baumrick campus and traveled down to wait in line in the lower quarter. She knew the place by memory by now. The patterns on the stone walkway, how decades of passing boats had rounded its edges, the rows of windows that were always boarded shut, even the other people who waited in line with her, assigned to this particular magic house. Sunlight might have warded off the chill, but there wasn't sunlight in this section of the lower quarter. Not at this hour, not in her lifetime. Ren couldn't resist looking up. The heights hovered magically overhead. When she was a child, it had been a marvel to her, an awe that only grew when she studied the actual magic theories involved. It was no small task for the Proctor family to create an entire neighborhood of glinting buildings in the clouds. Her favorite part had been the relocation of Balmerick University. The building's foundation had proven rather tricky. Decades of residual magic had made the walls more or less sentient. It turned out that they liked where they'd settled down in the lower quarter. A team of wizards had veracity, alteration spells to convince each individual rock that the sky was actually the earth. Wren liked to imagine them spending hours underground, lying to the stones. Eyes ahead, dear. Wren startled. She allowed a gap to form in the line. 2 strides brought her back into position. She glanced at the woman who spoken, an apology ready before recognizing her. Aunt Sloane. Not her real aunt. Her mother was an only child, just as Wren was an only child. But every woman who lived in their building was an aunt. Every man an uncle. The other kids were all cousins until they were old enough to start flirting and figuring out where they could sneak kisses without being seen. Aunt Sloane lived up on the 3rd floor. She worked on the wharf. "Little Monroe," she said. "How's your mother?" "Doing well. Strong and happy and woeful." Sloane laughed. "Of course. I hate that our shifts change. It's been too long since she and I sat down to play a few hands of Barons together. About 4 years now. Agnes was always such a good time. It's a shame she's all alone these days." Baron was a rotating card game that Wren's mother loved. It involved 7 suits, and the winner was usually the one who got away with the most cheating. Wren quietly took note of the other implications hidden beneath Aunt Sloane's words. She kept her tone neutral, polite. "I will tell her you said hello." Sloane nodded. "It's kind of you to stand in line for her." Her aunt gestured to the bracelet hanging on Wren's wrist. It was a memorable piece. A little hoop of dragon's forged iron, smoke black except for the rivulets of flickering fire that boiled in the metal depths. Wren's father had bought it for her mother as a wedding gift. It was for the woman, he'd said, who bent to the will of no one, and a nod to the fire she brought out in him. Sloane kept prattling on. "My boys. Too busy to stand in for me." Both of them landed in Peckering's workshop making ends meet. You know how it all goes, dear. Or you did. Before you went off to live in the clouds and do your studies. There it was. The neighbor's favorite slice of gossip. Wren knew the other ways, wondered how she'd gotten into a private school like Balmerick. What trick did the Monroes have up their sleeves? They were always praised the achievement to her face, but she knew exactly what they said behind her and her mother's back. Reaching for the stars, isn't she? Bound to come back empty-handed. The line moved. Wren used it as an excuse to drop the conversation. She kept her eyes forward and waited patiently until it was her turn. A pair of doors were propped open. The building to which they belonged was 100, industrious, singular in its purpose. A government official sat at a table. His hair was slicked back, eyes narrowed in metallic calculation. He offered the barest of nods when Wren stepped forward. "Vessel?" "I have 2 that need to be refilled, sir. One is mine, one belongs to my mother." She slid off her mother's bracelet and set it on the table. Next, she had reached for the wand hanging from the loop on her belt. Her own was shaped like a horseshoe. Both ends curved to sharpened points, but the central section offered a crude handle for her grip. She preferred this style to the pointed wands. She found it far easy to control the reins of her spells that way. The government accountant briefly appraised both items, listed under Agnes Monroe and Wren Monroe. He ran a finger down the list of names. She saw him pause and knew the question he'd asked before his lips even moved. And what about Roland Monroe? The name shivered down her spine the way it always did when a stranger spoke it so casually. Wren saw a brief vision of his body, bent in all the wrong ways. Every time she came to collect her monthly atonement, they would say his name before tracing the line across to see the explanation for his absence. Wren spoke the words before the man could. The smallest of victories. Deceased. He trapped a notation in front of him and nodded. They never showed sympathy, never whispered a condolence. It was just a status that determined how the rest of the transaction should go. The particular arbiter didn't even bother to make eye contact. Very well. I've got you listed for an allowance of 100 occulies per vessel. The law requires I inform you that another magical stipend will be of it. Wren cleared her throat. I've got coin to add more if that's okay. How much? Just 20 mids. I earned a few tips this week. He hunched back over his list to make another rotation. Wren had learned never to add too much. A big down payment could earn unwanted attention. Sometimes the government would investigate. Cut off your welfare entirely. She couldn't afford that to happen. 20 mids convert about to 200 more occulies, but Wren only nodded at the approximation. An occuly was the exact amount of magic it took to use a single-step spell. Named for Reverend Ockley, who Wren knew had come up with the original and very incorrect equation. His math had been owned by far cleverer wizards, but he was the one in the history books. Sometimes being first was all that mattered. Wren realized the accountant was staring at her. He repeated himself. Which item do you want them added to? The bracelet, she answered. My mother could use extra spells. A well-worn lie. It felt like an old shoe at this point. Her mother hadn't used any of their magical allowance in years. The man didn't ask any questions, though. He simply turned and handed the 2 vessels to a hired runner. The young girl dipped inside the warehouse through an interior door. Wren caught a glimpse of the factory like Rose, with the scions and heirs at Balmerick. Wren suspected the former was far more likely to be true.